The team at GOLDINVEST is always on the lookout for precious metal stocks that have vast potential, but have so far been overlooked by the investment crowd. We believe we might have discovered such a company in gold explorer Blue Lagoon Resources, trading on the CSE with the ticker BLLG. Today we're talking to CEO Rana Vig to see if he can convince us further. Welcome, Rana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Rana, before we start talking about Blue Lagoon, please give us a bit of background about yourself and also about the team working with you.
Sure. Basically, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been most of my life. I've been in private industry. I've 35 plus years of various businesses in my private life. About 10 years ago, I got involved in the capital markets at the suggestion of a very successful venture capitalist worth $300 million plus at the time. Made most of his money in mining. And, I was looking for a change. 2008, 2009 had just happened. And it was a kind of a dismal time, you might recall. So I was looking for a change. And I said, yeah, sure. Show me the ropes. Let's jump into the capital markets. How hard could it be? And so I got involved in the capital markets about 10 years ago in mining, put over $1 million into the markets. And about 6 months later, it was worth about $10,000. It was like, whoa, what did I get myself involved into? But you know what? It gave me an opportunity to learn a lot in those 10 years, because every year they would say, don't worry, mining's coming back. Mining's coming back next year. And of course, it's been 10 years. So in the last, those 10 years, I learned a lot. I took over a couple of mining companies and restructured them, and eventually RTO'd them and into technology companies, actually, because mining still was not in favor. And then a couple of years ago, of course, cannabis was very, very hot, and I laser beam focused on that industry, and was very, very privileged to take two of the biggest deals to market. A company called Curaleaf, which was the largest cannabis raise in Canadian history at $520 million. $6 billion market cap company. And then a couple months later, I was invited again to another, a failed oil and gas actually company, who said, hey, we'd like to heard some good things about you. And if you, take over, maybe you can help us out. So I did. I took over that company. And within a couple months, I found a company called Harvest Health and Recreation, which was the third largest raise in 2018 of $300 million, a $2 billion RTO. So it's very, very successful in those endeavors. And then, you know what? I was reading on the larger scale of what was happening in the world, and I said, you know what? I like mining. I started in the capital markets in mining. That's really where I want to be. And about a year and a half ago, I decided to get into the mining and really, really focus now on building a mining company. And that's what I did. I started Blue Lagoon Resources last year, and here we are. So that's my background in a quick nutshell. I'm an entrepreneur.
That's the nutshell, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Blue Lagoon then. Let's talk about the Dome Mountain property, as this is what the company will focus on for now, if I understand correctly.
Yes,
tell us a bit. Yeah, give us a bit of an idea of the location, size, type of geology, what work has been done there.
Yeah, like so the Dome Mountain, fell in our lap only a few months ago. I started actually discussions with them last October. And, but we just actually acquired it just a little over 4 months ago. It's an incredible property. It's in northern British Columbia by a small little town called Smithers, which is basically a mining town. It's about 20,000 people. And this property is just a short 50-minute drive from there. So, no helicopters, no, expensive camps. Workers can just drive up there every day. Work and come back home to their families, have dinner, and kiss their kids goodnight, and go back to work the next day. So it's really, really great from that perspective, and it's accessible all year round. So this is what we have is basically a permitted mine and a very high grade opportunity with the veins that are yet to be worked on. So what happened basically with this property is that these owners who have been working on it for years and years, there's been $68 million spent on here, 28 million just in the last dozen years by these latest operators. They took it to the one yard line literally and ran out of time. And what I mean by that is they are basically 83 years old now, and didn't have the stamina, I guess, to take it to the finish line and get it across. And only it's unfortunate because I mean it's a beautiful property. It's got all the infrastructure required for a mine operation, right? From power generators to there's a 500-meter tunnel that leads right up to the face of the boulder vein to get going. And there's only three things that need to happen in order to get this thing to start mining again. And they're not very onerous. It only requires $1.5 million. And it only has three things. We have to finish a water treatment plant. We have to do some underground bolting, and we have to finish the mine closure and reclamation plans. Those are not very onerous items. So we're actually in the process of doing that, right now. So that's the actual mine site and our plan to kind of get that moving. And then there's 15 very high grade veins on this property. And, very limited work has been done on them. Naranda, for example, was on the property in the 80s. And we've got, we have a historical resource that they established of 20,000 tons at 23.6 grams a ton. So, the numbers are spectacular. The main mine, the Boulder Vein, we have approximately 250,000 ounces there. The indicated, for example, measured and indicated, for example, is about 15 grams a ton. So again, spectacular, grades. So we've got roughly 250,000 ounces there in measured and indicated as well as inferred. And we've got about 1 million ounces of silver too, by the way, right? So that's in a nutshell, what that property is all about. And perhaps the most exciting part of this is 90% of that roughly 12,000 hectares have never been explored. They only focus on this one vein. That's
probably a function of them, the previous owners being older, trying to get it across the line and not wanting to engage in lengthy exploration. But yes. I guess you will be running a parallel now, trying to get what you have on the Dome Mountain mine into production and also look after the blue sky potential, right?
Yes, I think that's why we have a very unique and a fantastic story that we actually truly have a near production opportunity, because the mining permit is in place, the environmental permit is in place, all the things that take years and years and millions of dollars, right, are already in place, and then we have this incredible blue sky potential with these high grade veins. Plus the 90% that hasn't even, been explored yet. So we just did a airborne. We just flew the whole property, and we're waiting for the results from that. So there's a lot of plans to chase that blue sky for sure.
Okay, that certainly sounds interesting. Let me get back to something you said earlier. It takes about $1.5 million to take care of these items to get the mine into production. I think you raised 7.5 million recently.
Yes.
Yes. So there's a lot of money still there for the exploration efforts or other stuff you have to order. Can you tell us a bit in more detail what your plans are for the next, let's say, couple of months to the end of the year?
Yeah, look, one of the things I learned early when I got involved in the capital markets is, most of these companies these junior venture companies are undercapitalized. I hate that situation. And so when I was looking at what we're going to do after we acquired, Dome, I wanted to make sure we were fully capitalized, the treasury was full so that I can execute on the plan, right? So that we can move things forward. Because ultimately, that's the only way you build shareholder value. You've got to do something on the property. You've got to move the project forward. So yes, we just completed just a couple of weeks ago, a little over $7.5 million. So we're fully funded. And the plans, with that is to spend the $1.5 million on those amendments. And as I said, we are already begun. We got lots of activity happening right now at the mine site. So that has already started. And then we're currently drilling. We have about a 3,000 meter program that's running as we speak. That's happening right now. And we have already submitted another 100-hole program, to the government for approval. We expect that approval to take place in the next 80 to 90 days. And because this property is accessible all year round, we will be drilling. It's our anticipation throughout December, January, February, end of this year, as well as the first quarter of next year. So lots of activity on the property.
And lots of news flow, hopefully, which is what we like to see as investors.
Absolutely.
So, in your personal opinion, if I gather that, then this would be a good time to take a closer look at Blue Lagoon. So until now, it has been one of the few, or not the few, but one of the gold juniors or explorers that didn't profit stock price wise from the rise in precious metals prices.
Yeah, because you know what, we're a very under talked about company because we haven't really talked about it yet. This is one of my first interviews, that I'm doing here. So no one knows about us basically, right? So we're just starting the process to get the word out, to get people to say, you know what, if you're interested in junior exploration, if you're interested in gold, then this is a company you definitely want to spend some time and investigate, because we think we're cheap where we're at right now, given what we have, given where we can, we can go. If you look at similar companies, I mean, they're way ahead of us in market cap wise. So we think we have a lot of upside to offer to potential investors for sure.
Okay. That is the perfect closing remark, I would think. And thank you for taking the time and talking to us. We'll be sure to check in once we see news coming out, and perhaps just do another interview for an update on how things are going. Thank you.
It'll be my pleasure. Thank you.